to sexually transmit this to the next person.
God, you must have smoked. I mean, the person must have smoked a lot of dacha, taken a lot of cocaine.
Correct. Like you see that's my and then also I'm thinking more from a male perspective, versus
Long and hard, apparently.
a female perspective,
Yeah.
because I mean, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Well, I do and I don't, but it's,
No, you do, because I mean, generally it is the male, right, into the female. So now I'm trying to think, as a female athlete, how am I? Is it via saliva? Like, how me as a woman passing it on to you when it's really the male that is more of the vessel to be able to pass on to me?
Right, I'm gonna have to write all this down.
But are you keeping with my train of thought?
I am, but yeah, I can't get past the fact you said long and hard.
Anyway,
but yeah, excellent. He actually considered quitting tennis after he was done. But I mean, he
considered no, I don't think so. For doping and got 3 months. No. I think that was just kind of like a PR stint there, just to show the severity or how serious he is taking it. But so World Anti-Doping Agency, that's WADA, they've addressed the issue with the athletes and reminded that they could find themselves, obviously, in hot water.
They really need a better name than Wada Wada. What's going on? Just Wada Wada. Wada Wada.
Where are you going?
Wait, that's Shakira's song for the World Cup in 2010.
No, that's Waka Waka.
Close enough.
Yeah.
So obviously, I've seen you drive a really nice Audi.
But why are you telling everyone what I drive?
Does it go more than 80 k's an hour?
Yes.
Because that's what the pit lane speed limit is going to be increased to in Formula One. So when the guys come in and out,
they come in so fast, but you've got to come in fast because
they're going to get tires changed, but basically they slow down, so they've got a limiter. And so they're only allowed to go 60 k's an hour in some places, 80 k's in other places, in the pit lane. So
I don't like it anymore. I think there's way too many rules that it just takes away from the fun, I think, of motorsport. It's, okay, I get the carbon emission and that we need to be kinder to the environment, right? And I get that cars are changing and biodegradable and this and that. And I get that modern technology is coming in. But why? What is the reason for us going slower when we're all sitting in front of the television to watch the cars go really very fast?
Exactly that. I mean, so in the pit lane, you can do 60 k's an hour. I think because there have been accidents.
Safety.
So that's safety. In the pit lane's fine.
Yeah.
But they want to increase it to 80 k's an hour, which is a bit like driving down 4th Avenue in Parkhurst and doing 80 instead of 60. Why would you want to get faster in 4th Avenue in Parkhurst? Yeah. I mean,
okay, but
will they get out quicker?
Look,
will
it's a pit
change?
lane, so yes, there's safety. There's lots of people, so is it a safety aspect? But it's always been working. How fast could you come into a pit lane before?
Yeah, well, it was 60. I mean, it's nonsensical, but basically you could fly in.
Correct.
And then fly out again.
You're supposed to fly in and fly out.
Well, they can't.
Anymore. Go slow.
Can you imagine... so what they should do, you'll have... we should get JMPD, the police officers from Joburg, and they can stop the guys. Ish, I need KFC money.
Yes, actually. Yeah. That would add like a nice dimension to F1. If it is that you're going over the speed limit.
KFC money.
A Coke, and now you can go. But I don't know what you think about the rules and just how I think F1 over the last couple of years has changed quite a bit.
It's extraordinary. So next year is going to change even more. Different engines, different fuel, and also different weight limits for the cars.
Yes,
so I think next year is going to be great.
But then again, they're also saying here, like Monaco, Singapore, it's 60 Ks. Other circuits are 80 Ks, depending. I think more of a safety and probably where the pit is located and how you come in. Is it a bend? Isn't it? Is it hidden? I don't know. I'm just coming up with my own.
Yeah, and you're allowed to cross a line as you come out again. It's always been a bit of a tricky area. And I'm a Formula One fan. And it used to be the old days when I used to go to Kyalami with my dad. I used to be able to walk through the pits. And you could go see. I mean, I remember Garrett Berger at Kyalami, and the old Kyalami when it was just going clockwise instead of anti-clockwise as it is now. And you could speak to the guys and they would come up and shake your hand.
Isn't the beauty of the pit as to how quick you can come in and how fast you can get your tyres changed?
Well, it used to be so. If a pit change, if a pit stop cost you, 10 seconds? It now takes 1.2 seconds to change 4 tyres and get out.
Wow.
I mean, that's just...
And then it's how do you make up that time again, you know? So now you're slowing everything down, which means it's longer to kind of catch up once you leave.
10 seconds in, 10 seconds out. But yeah. So this is one thing that scares me, is that a whole bunch of rugby players have been diagnosed as at risk because of cognitive problems, because of concussion.
Oh.
So I know there's about 780 who are involved in a class suit against World Rugby, but it is, it's a problem, you know. It's...
Concussion is serious, I think, in all sport.
And boxing as well.
I was about to bring that in. But to be very honest, I mean, after years and years of boxing, you've got to bow out, because taking all those blows to your head, I think it does take its toll somewhere. But just think about it. Contact sport, rugby, football, you know, boxing, and it should be taken very seriously.
Well, indeed. And we'll speak to Colin Nathan about that after the break, because the Oscar music is going through my headphones. Thanks, Mdu.
Mm-hmm.
This is Omnisport Africa. We're putting African sport first, live and on demand on your phone, data free on the MTN network in South Africa. T's and C's apply, and online at omniaudio.africa, because reading about it tomorrow won't help you today. When we created Omnisport, we wanted you to hear from Africa's greatest sports journalists. In South Africa, there was only one choice.
No big deal.
Omnisport proudly presents Inside SA Soccer with Brad Jakes.
Whatever that Chiefs can do, it would seem Mamelodi Sundowns can do better.
With over 3 decades as one of South Africa's most talented, decorated, and astute soccer journalists, Brad Jakes is the man the players, coaches, team owners, and officials listen to.
This is a brave man.
Inside SA Soccer with Brad Jakes, exclusive to Omnisport, where Africa comes to play.
Now that's a garage match.
Listen live now and on demand at omniaudio.africa.
This is me, just reliving last night. Listen to the crowd.
Let's get ready to grumble. Colin Nathan on the line. Cole, been a long time. Last night's fight, brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Kevin Arena successfully defended his WBC Bridgeweight World title in spectacular fashion against the guy that he really was supposed to take care of. And, you know, Radchenko really was, you know, very lucky, I think, in my opinion, to get the title shot. He was 11-7 going in.
Yeah.
And to be honest, probably would have been one of the greatest upsets in boxing, not only history, not only in South Africa, but globally. So Kevin did what he needed to do. He took care of business, and he did it in spectacular fashion.
I mean, with that said, also, Colin, morning.
Morning.
What awaits Kevin Lerena? Because they are talking about an international opponent, that could be on the cards.
Well, my thought process would be that he is going to vacate that belt, because there's not a lot of revenue in that division, if I'm perfectly candid with everyone. I think he needs to obviously now move up to heavyweights, because that's where obviously all the dollars and the euros and the pounds are. And I think Kevin's proved over the years that he can hang and mix with the top boys. And I think there's not much value in holding on to that WBC Bridgeweight belt. So it was great for boxing. It was great to say that South Africa has now hosted the WBC World title. That's, a thing of the past now. And I think Kevin needs to really move up. And obviously, I don't want to say cash in, because I think he's won't be in the bridgerweight division. They'll be in the heavyweight division.
What does this mean now? Because you're moving weights. I mean, a bridgerweight is probably 90.7 kgs, if I'm correct. So
no, that's cruiserweight.
That's
so
cruiserweight.
basically it's between and infancy stages. And not a lot of people have really taken to it. And that's why I think the smart money would be for Kevin to vacate and move up to heavyweight totally. Because like over 200 pounds, you still classified it as a heavyweight, even though there's this bridgerweight division, which is very confusing for boxing fans, I must just say.
No, it is, because I'm like, are you an in-between weight at the moment? And so therefore maybe not as serious if you moved one up?
Are you talking about me when I jump on the scale? Or are you just talking about boxing?
It's talking about me, but it's okay.
Yeah. I think it's a very valid point, Romy. It's a very, very valid point. And I think that's a little confusing. And that's why I say that the division's still in its infancy stages. So the smart money and the smart move, if I was advising Kevin, would be to vacate the belt. He's done the home defense. It's been great for South African boxing. Created a lot of hype, some nice eyeballs and viewership. But now it's time for him to step up and really make some really good cash. And that can only be at the heavyweight division. There isn't an opinion that maybe he should drop down to cruiserweight. I'm not sure he can. I mean, he's put on quite a bit of muscle. He's looked nice and tight at bridgerweights. But I think he's grown nicely into heavyweights. And I think that's where I would advise him to go. You know, having another WBC title defense for the bridgerweight division, if I'm candid, it doesn't really mean much. So that's where I think Kevin's best bet is to move up to heavyweights and fight those big names.
But I mean, you used the word cash in, which you then retracted a little bit, Colin. But I think that it is a good word to use because Kevin is very outspoken in terms of he uses his talent and the sport in order to
build his reputation.
Correct, but also to put food on the table at the end of the day. So it is a wise move for him to go up. However, it's not going to be the same. So how do you measure out the success? And if it is that he will have the same success in the next weight division as he's having right now?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And I think Kevin can hang with the top boys. I just don't think he gets over the line. You know, against Dubois, he had literally the world at his feet. And then unfortunately, he just kind of froze in the moment. And Dubois has gone on to obviously knock out AJ, which is great. He's now having a rematch with Alexander Usyk, which is, you know, the whole narrative on that rematch has been sold on the low blow. Was it low? Was it not low? And they're trying to really sell that fight on all the controversy in the first fight. So, excuse me, Kevin mixed well against Dubois and nearly had him on the verge of stopping him. And then against Huni as well, you know, when you lost his last fight previously to last night, he had a Huni in all sorts of trouble in the last round. So Kevin can hang with the big boys. You know, and it's not inconceivable that he could beat some of the big guys. I just think it's a big ask and it's a big question mark. But going back to your question, is he going to have the same success as bridgerweights? Romy, the challenge with the bridgerweight division, it's not a lot of traction. A lot of boxing fans aren't taken to the division. They don't really understand what the division's all about. So it's a catch-22. Do you maintain world championship status on a belt that doesn't have a lot of revenue, that doesn't have a lot of interest? Or do you vacate it and go up to a division like the heavyweights, which there's a saying in boxing, there's boxing and then there's heavyweights, which creates that excitement and interest. So I think inevitably, Kevin being a businessman, he would make the right decision, I think, and that would be to vacate and then campaign as a heavyweight.
I wish you'd stop using the word Kevin because I keep thinking I can't hang with the heavyweights. I can't hang with the middleweights. I can't hang with the bridgerweights. Colin, I mean, give me a chance, man.
Kevin, but hold on. It depends. If I'm in your corner, you can.
Of course. And the hot box is still open, is it? I'll come down.
Yeah. Hot box is still going 25 years. And obviously my company, No Doubt Management's been going now 7 years, excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah.
7 years, yeah. So Kevin, there's hope for you. There's a bit of hope for you.
What's coming up in your stable? Who should we be watching for?
So we've just announced Phumelela Kafu is going to be defending in a massive super fight in Dallas, Texas against Jesse Bam Rodriguez for unification on the 19th of July for the Ring Magazine WBO WBC World Championships as the main event on live on DAZN. We now also have May 24th being announced for Carnival City, where we've got several championships on the line, including Ishmael Kadri, Frank Sotomela, Katlego Kanisa, Lakim Buyamini. That's going to be for the IBF Continental Africa Junior Lightweight title. We got Joshua Feldman, Duran Zinman. So that card's stacked. And then obviously we're now working towards Phumelela Kafu obviously creating an upset by beating Jesse Bam Rodriguez, which now Rodriguez is legitimately a pound for pound superstar. He's top 5, top 4 on most boxing pundits' list. And it's a really, really an amazing opportunity, not just for South African boxing, but for African boxing.
How would you rate the standard of African boxing, and how would you also rate South Africa in terms of world boxing and where we sit at the moment, Colin?
Great question. I think we can hang with the best. I think we have the talent to compete. I think we have the talent to cross the line and win these major legitimate sanctioning body championships. I think compared to the rest of Africa, our infrastructure is really better. We've got a stronger platform with broadcasting and production. And also, I think, a lot of these African countries just don't have the infrastructure with regards to administration, with regards to boxing commissions and so professional boxing commissions, that is. So I think South Africa is probably the leader in African boxing.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. That's great news. I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, I've watched a lot of your fights. Watched a lot of your fights. Heki Butler is one of my favorite boxers of all time. And you told me that he's now involved in commentary and he's still hanging around.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I mean, Heki,
he's doing very well.
Heki
very proud of him.
I mean, Heki's a legend for me.
Yeah, I mean, Heki was my signature fighter. He's the guy who put me on the map. So very close to my heart. And we're still very, very close. So he's part of Talent for Boxing Fight Promotions. In fact, he was commentating on SuperSport last night. So I'm very proud of him. And he's, those kind of fighters and those kind of humans, when they give and get so much from the sport, they're never going to be lost to it.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, Heki's my size. So that sounds terrible.
Maybe in height, Kevin. Let's not talk about the scale, huh?
Hey, Colin, man. I swear to God, I'm coming to Hotbox.
You said you wanted to fight as a heavyweight. I mean, hey, listen,
I don't want to see that.
I don't know if I can make you a champion, but I can certainly make money.
But maybe I can do bridgerweight because that seems to be the catch-all phrase.
Yeah, Romy, you see the marketing tool, Kevin versus Kevin.
Yeah, I see it. I actually don't want to see it, Colin.
When they start shouting Kevin, you just don't know which Kevin they're shouting for.
We have that confusion right here in the office. Colin, always nice to chat. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, guys. You take care. Have a good weekend. Thanks for listening.
Legend. I've known him for so long.
So do you know that Colin and Brabongs taught me everything I know about boxing?
Yeah, so I used to go to his Hotbox gym to watch the training sessions and do interviews. And Heki Butler was this little skinny Afrikaans dude. And he was so friendly and so outgoing. And you speak to him, you go, but meneer, jy's Afrikaans. And he was like very lekker.
And Gerrie Coetzee, also met Gerrie Coetzee.
Well, Gerrie Coetzee used to live in Boksburg. My friends actually live next door to him.
Oh.
And where Gerrie Coetzee lives now is now basically the East Rand Mall.
And also his hand, like he'll make you feel a piece of metal. That's
and also, Gerrie Coetzee ran a trucking business out of his back garden.
There's such amazing stories
Yeah.
in boxing. Just also back in like apartheid days, how boxers would just cross lines in order to be able to spar with each other, fight with each other, even though the times didn't quite allow. So I also think if you take a look at boxing and just its rich history in South Africa, the beautiful stories that definitely come out of it. But Kev, so what? You're keen on this boxing career? I'll find. No, actually, I know a good plastic surgeon. I know a good neurosurgeon. I know a good plastic surgeon. You're okay. Off you go.
Okay.
I want to be in the commentary booth that day.
Okay, you're gonna go. And in the first round, he's been knocked down 3 times.
And I'll also call WADA for you.
One night stands. That's all I'm going to do.
That's a Friday edition of Not the Sports News. We're back again on Monday. We'll see you then. Cheerio.
This is Omnisport Africa. We're putting African sport first, live and on demand on your phone, data free on the MTN network in South Africa. T's and C's apply, and online at omniaudio.africa. Because reading about it tomorrow won't help you today.